Blog Talk Radio.
What do you do when you don't know? Just go and ask for do-de-o-do. A Hoorazy will journey with you to all the places others
Ready to
won't
see
go.
today.
What do you do when you don't know? Just go and ask for do-de-o-do. A Hoorazy will journey with you to all the places others won't go.
You're listening to Ask the Unicorn, live with Ahurazi Deliza, answering all your paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual questions. Call us now at 718-664-9638 to speak with Ahura, or post your questions via chat room on our show page. And now your host, Ahurazi.
Nice.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? I'm Ahurazi, and you're on the air live with Ask the Unicorn. And tonight we'll talk about a few things. I'm going to open up the floor shortly for questions. But what I want to start off doing is just having Kazi say hello.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to Ask the Unicorn.
And we will begin our night. Now, I hope all of you had a good week this week so far, and I hope you had a good weekend. I had to go and do a holistic fair, and it was actually an enjoyable experience. I met a lot of very creative people, very mystic-minded people, and it seemed as though everyone was in a wonderful state of cooperation, and it was not like other psychic fairs that I've seen. There was no competition. Everyone got along fine, and we all prospered, and we all had a wonderful time. So, hats off to all of the people that cooperated in this event. Now, another thing that I want to talk to you all about is about cooperation, as a matter of fact. It's very important for us to learn to cooperate with each other, especially in the spiritual and the New Age community. We are the ones that will set the tone for how everyone else acts and how everyone else regards each other. Now, up until now, it's been religion, and religion has its positive side. It does have its wonderful standpoints, but you're going to have to go just a little bit further than telling everybody what they can't do and what they shouldn't do and what's going to cause them to go to hell. So what we want to do is something very, very positive, and I want to get across to everyone that it is important for us to be positive in our lives. That way we can have a very creative, very wonderful, and warm life. Now, I'm going to open up the floor to questions, and we'll get started right away. What do we have first, Kazi?
First question is from Lisa. She says, "Hi Z, I've been dreaming of an old temple covered in ivy leaves. Then last night I saw a Ouija board covered in the same leaves with a triangular piece moving over the board on its own. Any ideas? I don't own a board. Thanks, Lisa."
Okay. Well, if you've ever had occasion to deal with a Ouija board, that might be a reoccurrence or someone else that's around you that is fooling around with one of those things. I can't stress to you how dangerous that particular thing is. That tool should not be used by anyone. It's not a game. It's not a child's toy. It's a very, very dangerous tool that is used to contact spirits, and many times the spirits will be malevolent. So I would advise you to stay away from it. However, it looks as though there may have been a past experience with a Ouija board that the fruits of that particular thing may be coming to visit you. If I were you, I would make sure that there's not one hidden somewhere in your home. If you live in an apartment and you know that nothing like that is in there, then I would make sure that people that you associate with are not including you in their designs to have you use one. The old leaves represent the past. The leaves uncovering the Ouija board represent something from the past, so I would say definitely that you must have run into someone or had an experience where you used the Ouija board. Again, I must stress to you that if that particular opportunity comes up, or maybe somebody from your past is going to kind of try to come and reunite with you and bring that thing along, or the energy of that thing along, I suggest you be aware of it, and the moment that someone wants to walk into your house using one of those things, you tell them no, absolutely no. Okay, I hope that helps you. Now, what have we got next?
We have a question from Michelle Lynn. And she asks, what are some cord cutting / energy separation techniques I can try at home? Recently, I've realized that when I'm in relationships, the love energy I feel helps me to be my best self and strengthens my energetic spiritual practices. However, since the guys I date don't do spiritual practices, they drain my energy. And when I do a really intense practice, my energy spikes. And again, since they don't do practices, we're energetically in two different places, and they separate immediately. Honestly, my practice probably separated us energetically by putting us on a totally different wavelength. But they cut off mundane communication. I'm heartbroken, and this in turn drops my energy from what I built in spiritual practice. So I need to disconnect my energy from theirs. But any way you slice it, what I'm doing clearly isn't working because I don't receive reciprocity.
Okay. Your spiritual practices don't have anything to do with this. Now, I need to teach you a little bit here. And the reason I have to teach you is because you're looking at it all wrong. You have to look at it this way. You're talking about the different practices and meditations and things that you do that are cutting you off from these particular people. That's not it. You know what it is? It's just that you have bad taste. And I'm sorry to put it that way, but you really do. You're picking people that are not compatible with you in the first place, and you know that they're not compatible with you, but you can't seem to get your wants and your needs on the same accord. And this is a problem that a lot of women have. You find a guy, and this guy you know is not going to work for you, but you go and venture into it anyway, and then wonder why he doesn't work with you the moment that you allow yourself to be who you really are. You're going to have to look for guys that if you want that type of an interpersonal relationship, you're going to have to look for guys that are compatible with you. If they are not into spiritual practices from the get-go, and you know that, why would you waste your time with them? That makes absolutely no sense. That's a problem. That's like you're just certain that you can change him. You can be the one person in his life that can change him. And guess what, sister? You're absolutely wrong. Okay? You are so wrong. And so are many other women that try to change these guys. Okay? We'll do just about, listen, most of us will do just about anything to get what we want, and then at that particular point we look at you like you're a nuisance, especially when you start talking things that we're not used to in the first place. There are a lot of people out there that are spiritual guys that are into the spiritual practices that are very well suited for you. But the problem is that you have this thing where you want to go and find someone and change them. Your job is not to change a person in a relationship. If that person changes in the relationship that you are having with them, they are not the right person because they are putting on an act in the first place. When the two of you meet each other, you are supposed to meet each other on an equal ground. And when you meet each other on that equal ground, you are not supposed to all of a sudden figure, well, now I'm going to change him. That makes absolutely no sense at all. Because if he does change, he's going to change into something that you don't like, and then you've just wasted your time. So let's not look at the esoteric reasons as to why you're not compatible with these people. Is because you keep trying to attract the same exact type of guy over and over and over and over again, thinking that you're going to be the one factor in his life that is going to change him. No. Try looking for enlightened men. Try looking for an enlightened person. Okay? My teacher used to say this to me. She told me, when you can stop looking for somebody and look for someone, you'll get the right person. The problem is that everyone out there is looking for somebody, and no one is looking for someone. In your particular case, you're having to give up parts of yourself in order to have a relationship with this person or any of these people, not realizing that you're always going to revert back to yourself. If you are a spiritual person, you must find someone else that is spiritual. You must find someone else that is compatible with you. Okay? It's really quite simple, and that's something that you can do now. It's not something you have to wait until you've mastered anything. If you don't need a love spell, you don't need a rose quartz in order to draw love to yourself. It's really simple. Stop choosing the wrong guys. You can tell if they're the wrong guys. They always have something that they're doing. They always have something that they're doing that is repulsive to you, yet you fix yourself so that it's no longer repulsive. I'm sorry to rant at you, but, you asked a long question, I'm giving you a long answer. And, this particular answer is something that I believe that you plagued yourself with, and we need to stop the plague. Change your taste in men. Do you understand me? Change your taste in men. If a guy's a jerk from the beginning, you're not going to change him. He's going to be a jerk later. Okay? Just change your pace. I didn't say settle. I didn't say lower your standards. But based upon what you're saying about your relationship, you've already lowered your standard. The moment that you have to give up any part of yourself and being who you truly are, you have lowered your standards. So let's not do that. Let's just change our way of thinking. Find guys who were spiritual from the beginning. Okay? And keep your pride about yourself. You're one of the children of the goddess. You're one of her daughters. Don't give up yourself just for some guy. And don't feel heartbroken if they don't like you. So what? There's a million that will. You just have to seek them out. All right. I do hope that helps you. Okay. Now, one of the things that I like to do is play some of the music that we have, and I'm going to actually do that. And then when I come back, we're going to actually go to the phone lines. Now, I'm feeling a little humorous this evening, so I'm going to do some other things, okay? This is a song that I was just messing around with one night. I just decided to play around and came up with this song. Well, it wound up being a song that was used in an independent game on Xbox 360, which I'm very proud of. But when they said that they wanted to use it, I said, are you serious? I was just joking, okay? And I'm going to play that for you, and you'll see the joke, and you'll also get it. This is pretty much what I think most rappers, when they do music, are saying. And it's a very important message, so I hope you all enjoy this. I'll be back momentarily. I'm Ahura Z. You're on the air live. This is Ask the Unicorn.
Boing, 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 boing. Boing, 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 from my 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 boing, boing, boing. Boing, 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 from my 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 boing, boing, boing. Boing, 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 from my 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 boing, boing, boing. Boing, blah, blah, do blah, blah, do blah, blah. The bubbling boing, boing, blah, blah, boing, 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 boing. Bubbling boing, 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 blah, blah, blah. The bubbling blah, do blah, blah, little boing, boing, blah, blah. Bubbling blah, blah, do blah, 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 blah. The bubbling blah, 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 blah. The bubbling blah, 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 blah. And your blah, 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 and your blah, blah, and your blah, blah, and your blah, and your blah, and your blah. Boing, boing, on my boing, boing. Boing, 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 on my boing, boing. Boing, 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 on my boing, boing. Yeah, the blah, 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 on my blah, blah, blah. Let me blah, y'all. Blah, y'all. Boing, 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 on my boing, boing. Boing, 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 on my boing, boing. Yeah, the blah, 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 on my blah, 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 boing. Boing, 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 blah, 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 boing, blah. Blah, 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 blah.
I think that's funny. That song is really, really funny. You can actually, if you rent the game that's called Avatar Boogie on Xbox 360, you'll find that song on there. Now, as I was saying earlier, I'm going to go to the phone lines. What we have is one of our regulars, and that's Elise online. So I'm actually going to bring Elise into the studio. How are you doing, Elise?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Good, good. What can I do for you?
I'm
this
really
evening? Good. Well, thank you. So do you.
Actually, I have 3 questions, and they're kind of related.
Okay.
Is it okay?
We usually try to limit it to one question per person, but let's see what we can do for you this evening.
Okay, well, if you want, I can call back later.
If you
anyway,
like.
Okay. One of my cats was sitting on top of a cabinet, and I saw that he was wearing, it was like a spiritual translucent experience. He was wearing a helmet and wings and a pink heart on his chest. I was wondering what that meant.
Well, Elise, I would actually have to see that in order for me to give you an exact answer on that. But what I could, maybe you just saw a spiritual body, or maybe you just protect that cat with a lot of love, and that's what the result of it is. The more energy that you direct towards the thing, you affect that thing as well. Okay, so yeah, that could be exactly that, or maybe the cat just really loves you. The manifestation of love can take many, many shapes. Between you and your animals, or you and your friends, or you and your loved ones. You have to understand something. Love is the most powerful force in the universe, and it's tempered by faith and hope. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was because of you covering your cat with so much love that's kind of what it comes off as, almost like a shield of armor.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you got to kind of think of it in that way.
Okay, that sounds good, yeah.
Just remember that. Faith, hope, love.
Okay.
Very powerful forces.
So should I call back later to ask another question?
Well, why don't we just go ahead and see what you got next?
Oh, okay. One of my other cats today was sitting on the floor in the bathroom, and she likes to drink water from the sink. So she looked up at the sink, but she didn't jump. But I saw the picture of her in the air, a translucent picture of her jumping, even though she was still on the floor.
Oh,
it was.
interesting.
What is that?
Well, is that because you were kind of seeing her thoughts?
But how could it manifest as a picture in the air?
Well,
it was
thoughts are like that. Think about it. You paint, right?
Right.
Well, don't you usually see the picture in your mind before you do it?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I see the picture on the canvas before I paint it.
All right. So it probably works off of the same premise. Artists are the most visionary people on the face of the earth, whatever kind of art they do. And because of that, they're able to see things that other people are not. And I've already spoken to you about your vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
I mean, it seems like today you had a very visionary day, so that doesn't surprise me about you at all. You're blessed with good vision.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, it's more to think about. I mean, it gives you more to think about the next time, because the bond between you and your animals are very, very close, right?
Yeah.
Tight bond. So you're obviously going to feel what each other is feeling to a degree. Animals very easily pick up on human thought. Why can't humans pick up on animal thought?
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah.
Perhaps that just means that you're growing and evolving.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So those are good experiences. Those are the things that you should write down.
Okay. I have another question, but it's really short. Is it okay to ask it or not?
That's fine.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay. Both my cats were sitting on the desk with me while I was drawing before, and then from the other room I heard, it sounded like an animal was crunching their food, and when I went in there, I saw it looked like a ghost cat eating the food, and the food was disappearing like it was being eaten. I don't understand how is that possible?
Well, did it look like one of your cats?
It looked like one of the cats that we had before. It died a long time ago.
Okay. So obviously you're seeing a lot. You're seeing energy fields is what you're saying. Remember what I've taught you. The energy of a thing will last long after that thing itself.
But how could it eat food? I mean, how could it eat physical food?
Well, I would actually have to see it myself in order to tell you that, but it sounds as if the energy of your other cat is still very, very strong in your home, and perhaps what you saw that looked like the physical food was actually more energy.
Oh, okay.
The same as the cat. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That could be, so I would like to actually observe that myself. That's one of those things that I would like to be able to go down and see in a paranormal investigation to see if that actually took place. If that was the case, then that means that the dimensional curtains that separate different realities is thinner than we think. So I'm not beyond thinking that actually does happen, but it sounds more like the energy, like that cat followed that particular pattern so many times that the energy is almost palpable there, and that's what you saw.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Does that help you?
Yeah, it does. It helps a lot.
Well, you see a lot, Elise, and these are the things that you probably need, as I said, you probably need to write them down.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Good.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. I appreciate your call. You have a good evening.
Too. Thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that was Elise, and she sees quite a bit, actually. Now, as I was talking to you earlier, it's about cooperation. Listen, it's high time that we start looking for each other, okay? I mean, those of us that are in the New Age and the spiritual community and the mystical community, it's high time we really started looking for each other and started cooperating with each other so that we can help ourselves and help people to be able to evolve and to grow. And there's obviously a great transition that has been happening with the Earth, and we're all a part of that. So we need to help other people understand what it is that they're seeing when they see things and when they experience things. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort. All you have to do is be open. Okay? I'll speak more of that as we go on with the show. Now, we're going to go back to our questions here, and I think we have one from the chat room.
Yes, this next question is from Arlisha Valentine, and she asks, can you tell me about Saturn return? I'm currently in this cycle and will be for another year. Also, is there anything I can do to negate the negative side effect of this event? Thanks. Great advice, by the way.
Actually, the Saturn return is one of the most challenging things that you'll come across in your esoteric evolution. It will call for you to be disciplined. You have to understand what Saturn stands for. Saturn stands for discipline, honor, and honesty. Okay? Saturn will help you to be disciplined. And I would suggest this to you. Say what you mean what you say. That is one of the chief lessons of Saturn. Be direct. Be straight. That doesn't mean that you have a license to attack. Whenever you tell someone that they need to be direct and to be straight, they bite their lips and they all of a sudden lock their jaws and they look like the Brothers Grimm and they go out trying to slay dragons. That's not what it's about. It's very simple. If you have something that is on your mind, then you need to say that thing that is on your mind. However, understanding that Saturn is discipline, You need to be disciplined enough so that you do nothing to harm the person that you're speaking to or the person that you're regarding. That's a good start for you. Just being honest, with how it is that you're feeling. If you're feeling good, then say so. If you're not feeling good, then say so. It's not up to you to capture the attention of the person that asks you certain things like, how are you doing? If that person doesn't mean it, then they're going to show it. That doesn't mean that you said something wrong. It means that that particular person is very shallow. And that person really didn't want to know from the start how it is that you're actually doing. So what you need to do is learn how to communicate and how to communicate with people and think about the things that you are saying. That would be a great start to dissipate the negativity. The other thing is, don't do things that you know that you're not supposed to do, okay? Do those things that are right in front of you to do that you know that you are supposed to do. That is the easiest way to deal with your Saturn return. Throughout this time, Saturn will test you, and Saturn will not allow you to move any further unless you purify those things that are on the inside of you to purify. That means with your life and with your attitude and with your thoughts. Many people during their Saturn returns just don't know how to cope, and they wind up just kind of rocking back and forth, wondering why God hates them so much. Well, it's not that God or the goddess hates you. It's just that you're in a Saturn return, and that Saturn return is there for you to streamline your thoughts. It is there for you to discipline yourself. It is there for you to become the person that you are supposed to become, okay? And it will be very, very helpful for you. I might also suggest wearing colors such as indigo, silver, and blue. It helps you throughout that particular vibration. And before you know it, it will be over, so long as you are remembering this. Saturn is also patience, but patience is not waiting for anything. Patience is active and always moving forward. So if there are things for you to do, remember this: one step at a time finishes the journey, okay? I don't care how fast or how slow you take that step. Just make sure that you're taking those steps. And Saturn will meet you on the street corner that you ask it to meet you on. And by the time Saturn is done with you, you will be better. You will be stronger. You will have some level of discipline, and there will be some order to your life. Remember those things: discipline, order, honor, honesty. Okay? Follow those things, and you should be all right during your Saturn return. If you need help, you can always call me. I hope that does help you. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the phones right now, and I have Tony bringing him into the studio. How you doing, Tony?
I'm good. How are you, Z?
Good. What can I do for you this evening?
Well, I had a question about a dream I had.
Okay.
A short dream. Basically, I had a dream that a cat was clawing up my face. That was pretty much it.
You made someone mad at your job that was female, didn't you?
Probably. They don't like people who tell the truth, so.
Yeah, so in other words, yes, you made a girl mad.
Yes.
And she shot her thought at you. Okay.
Sounds right.
This goes back to what I was just telling the last person. Listen, being straight and direct is not a license to attack. So here's what I might suggest for you to do. The next time you see this person, just tell her that, you can take it on the chin. You're going to have to be the man here. Take it on the chin and say, look, I meant what I said, but my attitude towards you was entirely wrong, and I'm sorry I made you angry. You have no idea how the mileage that will get.
Okay.
It doesn't hurt you. So what? It'll make her feel better. It'll make her feel better about you. It'll make you feel better. And even if you don't like each other, at least you'll be able to get along.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so that cat scratching your face was just thoughts.
Okay. Huh.
So you can think about those things and just, find the best way to do it. And I'm sure that the universe will provide, a scenario or an opportunity for you to do just that. Just say, look, I think I came off a little harsh with you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay? It's okay. It doesn't mean that you're less of a man. It doesn't mean that you are giving up your pride or anything like that. It merely means you're doing that in the interest of peace.
I do like peace, so.
Yeah. I have to do that all the time. Sometimes even when I'm delivering a message, a person may not understand what's going on, and I've had to change my way of speaking in order to help that person to understand, or even with students, sometimes I'll have to say, look, I realize that was a little harsh. However, the message I meant, I just didn't mean the way that I said it. And that's okay. In fact, that will show personal growth that is happening with you.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Good hearing from you, man. All right,
You too.
you have a good evening, okay?
You too. Bye.
All right, that was Tony. We're going to go back to our written-in questions. What do you have for me now, Kazi?
Does karma exist? How come some people do really bad things all their life and they seem to be having a good life, and people who are trying to do everything right have one disaster after another happen to them?
That's one of those age-old questions, and I'm going to attempt to answer you with, some level of intelligence. I used to think that a lot. I would look at the situations and say, there are some really bad people out there that just seem to have everything. No matter what they do, they just seem to always have everything. And then again, there are these people that are trying to live their good life, and they're doing almost everything they possibly can in order to have a good life, and it just seems like bad things happen to them. And you just sit there and go, I don't get that at all. That makes absolutely no sense to me. I'm doing all of these things right, yet this still happened. And this person is doing everything wrong, but they seem to have, a silver spoon in their mouth. They've got money that flows out of their pockets. They find the right person to be with, or somebody really, really great. They're making that person miserable, yet they have someone, and I'm searching all over the place. Listen, karma does exist. But karma isn't what you think it is. Karma isn't a wheel of punishment and reward. Karma is a return. It's kind of like a wheel of life and death, if you will. Or, you go around and around and around and around again until you finally learn a lesson. Okay? It's like if you go up to a person and they tell you, listen, I've been Native American, I've been this particular person 1,000 incarnations, and I'm very, very wise, and because I've been in this incarnation for 1,000 times, you should probably look at that person and say, well, what aren't you learning? That's the thing. Maybe these people are getting the opportunity to change, and maybe you've already mastered what they have not. Now, I realize that sounds kind of like, oh, man, really? Why do I have to master that? I get that, but you have to think of it this way. That person is not mastering what you're mastering at the moment. Maybe later you'll get to master that. And maybe something will happen to change your life so that you're on the other side. But you know something? Just as you're looking at that particular person and wondering why they get all of the benefits and why they get all of this, there is someone else whose situation is way worse than yours that is wondering the same thing about you. And we just kind of have to look at each other and go, I'm going to live my life to the best that I possibly can. If that person has all the benefits in the world and you haven't, the last thing that you want to be mad at is something that you never experienced or something that you've never had. It's best for you to try to make your life as positive as possible. And you know something? The moment that you do, you'll understand a lot. I mean, I know this question because I've asked it myself and said, how is it that there are so many, people out there committing all of these different crimes, yet they seem to be living large, and then here I am not even crossing the street on a red light, yet I have such a hard time. That just says there has to be some realm that says, okay, I'm going to reward this person. Unfortunately, my friend, it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes You just have to live the best life that you can. And then hope that there is an intelligence that is looking at you and saying, well, I'm going to give this person equal time. Think about all of the people whose shoulders that you're standing on, all of your ancestors that have had even harder lives than yours. Yet they still managed to be able to smile about it and think that it was going to be okay. Now, I can't sit here and preach to you and say that, I always feel like things are okay, because I don't. But I have hope. And I use that hope on a daily basis. And I love to see when someone gets what they want. Because the moment that they get what they want, it proves that another person can have what they want. And I love to see good people get what they want. And I think that you should have that exact same way in attitude. You should have that exact same hope. That way, when it's your turn, other people are looking and saying, that's good for you. And they'll be glad that you got your turn. Your turn will come. Be patient. Be patient and steadfast. Your turn will come. Now, I hope that helps you. But that's one of those questions that, so many people have asked, and for all time. This world is it's just a big ball of energy, and that energy takes different sides. Sometimes those that are on that other side get what they want, and sometimes those that are on the positive side get what they want. And sometimes it happens in reverse. You just want for things to happen for you, and I understand that. So how about we decide what you want and try to make it happen? Remember something. Make your wants and your needs match. If you do that, then it's far more likely for you to succeed, because your wants change minutely, but what you need is always there until it's fulfilled. And then don't have any expectations about it. Do your best. If you need further help on this, I'll be more than willing to talk to you. Just give me a call or look us up on our website, www.asktheunicorn.com. I was looking at something. I'm sorry. I had a squirrel moment. That happens with me once in a while. But I'll be happy to help you. All right. What do we got next?
You see a lot about mirrors and magic. Are mirrors really magical?
Mirrors are mirrors. There was a point in time that they were used for magic, and they're used for magic in many cases right now. Just because there's a mirror doesn't make it magical. However, they do enable us to see ourselves and maybe see other things about ourselves, even dimensionally. In that way, we can call it magical. And they can be used as a magical focal point. They can also be used to see through dimensional walls if you know how to do that. You had training and have amassed the ability to do so. Them in and of themselves, however, are not magic. They're merely reflective, and they can be used to absorb, they can be used to reflect, they can be used to see, they can be used to divine, they can be used to scry, they can be used to banish, and they can be used to summon. But you must have the ability and experience to do so. So you hear people say a magic mirror. That's probably because they understand that some mirrors just are not magical according to the person's experience and knowledge. There, I hope that helps you. Okay, what have we got next?
You tell us leaving our body is dangerous. When we die, we have to leave our body. Can something bad happen when we die? Because that worries me.
Well, I don't know what you're worried about. You're not dying. So that's kind of one of those questions that will be answered when you do that. It's true, you do leave your body. However, that doesn't mean that something bad is going to happen. You are not supposed to leave your body before it is time. In other words, it is not a game. Okay, you're talking about astral traveling, and my stand is ever steadfast. Stay in your body until the Reaper decides it's time for you to leave your body. You must do everything to stay in your body. There are things that are waiting in the astral realm that you just don't want to meet. Okay? So no, it doesn't necessarily mean that anything bad can happen to your spirit when it finally is time for you to leave. But it doesn't mean for you to try it and try to make it happen, because you'll endanger yourself. And believe me, you will endanger yourself. So I think that's almost like a trick question. But we have to leave our bodies anyway. You're going to leave your body when it's the appointed time for you to leave your body. Don't make it happen early. Don't try to make it happen early. So I hope that helps you know nothing bad is going to happen to you. You'll be fine. You'll go to where you're supposed to go. Okay. Now, that's very important, by the way. That's very, very important. You people that like to mess around with the astral realm, and you probably hear me say this a lot because I feel very strongly about it. That is not supposed to happen. You are not supposed to do that. If you do that out of duress and you find yourself, out in the astral realm, there's an opportunity for you to get back. And there are usually people like myself that will teach you how to stay in your body. That is a dangerous place to be. Now, I'm not talking about because of the movies or anything else. I'm talking about the reality of it. This body is yours, and there are things out there that understand the fact that you can't do much of anything without a body. Okay, so by all means, stay in your bodies. And this goes for people who are into hypnotism. Listen, it's incredibly important for you to stay conscious of your life. I wouldn't suggest going to a hypnotist for any reason, okay? Because that person can open up your subconscious and they have absolutely no idea how to close it. And the same command that is given to you on one day could be given to you 20 years from now by accident, and you'll find yourself in a hypnotic state. You have to think of these things. Not everything should be tried just because it's there. I understand that we are all very curious people. We're like children when it comes to things of a mystical nature, of things that are unusual. But we have to be responsible for what it is that we're doing. Okay? You have to take this into consideration. Your life is supposed to be your own, and there are people out there that are capable of helping you get through things without hypnotizing you, because chances are that person is not altogether savory, and they could do some awful things to you that will linger for years. And you'll find yourself clucking like a chicken every time someone says car for sale. So think about these things. Really, they like to say hypnosis is a very safe practice. I don't think so at all. It's not safe at all. But you all have to find things out for yourself. I get that. Just be careful with what it is that you're doing. And understand that curiosity is not knowledge, nor is it a sense of adventure. It simply is what it is, curiosity. And I don't think the curiosity killed the cat, but it might have gotten its tail stepped on. All right, now we're going to break shortly for station information, and I will be back momentarily. And you're on the air live with Uhura Z. This is Ask the Unicorn.
You're listening to Ask the Unicorn with Uhura Z. DeLiza, answering all your paranormal, metaphysical, and spiritual questions. Call us now at 718-664-9638 to speak with Uhura, or post your questions via chat room on our show page. If you have an issue you'd like to discuss with Uhura in more detail, he offers telepathic readings and spiritual counseling by phone and Skype. Uhura also teaches private classes online using Skype video. For more information, visit Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics at www.unicorn-cove.com. And now back to Ask the Unicorn.
All right, I'm back, and as I said, you're on the air live with Uhura Z. This is Ask the Unicorn. For those of you that would like to call in, you can call in to 718-664-9638. That is 664-9638. I do enjoy when people call in, as I say every week. It gives me someone to talk to, and I really enjoy answering your questions. Now, there's another point that I'd like to talk to you about. I'd like to offer more of these shows and get better equipment so that I can do better shows. If you like what you've heard, you're free to make a donation. We would love it if you made a small donation to the show and to keep the show running. Donations go towards paying our monthly airtime fees so that we can get on the air every week and even more so to answer your questions. Now, they can be made using the donations button on the front of the page and Ask the Unicorn website at www.asktheunicorn.com. Now, for those of you, I understand that a lot of people out there will listen to things and listen to someone ask for a donation and say, oh, that's nice, and not really make a donation. But I'm quite serious about what it is that I do. And it does help and go towards us being able to provide you with better information and more information and better show time. So please, if you all could make a donation, do so. And you can tell your friends to listen to the radio show. And I'm sure that they would enjoy it just as much as you do. Now, let's go back to some questions here. What have you got for me now?
Is it possible to reseal the mind of someone who has been hypnotized so that they can't be reopened by the same commands later?
It is possible, but that's going to take some work. There's a process that is called a regression that I've performed and other mystics have performed that is capable of doing such a thing. And it does take a process. It's not something that is going to happen like one shot and all of a sudden, you're totally cured. That's a process and a process of discipline. But once it's done, yes, you can get rid of the program. And all it will do is be like closing a door, to your subconscious and your subconscious. So I hope that helps. If you've been hypnotized, you can contact me. Okay? What have you got next?
How can you pray for lots of money? I mean, in a good way. And this is from Shelly Nunchuck.
How can you pray for lots of money in a good way? Well, you can just pray for lots of money and then maybe go and play the lottery. Or you can just go work really hard and get lots of money. Or come up with a very wonderful song, or come up with a wonderful movie, or do the things that you're best at doing, and hope that the universe blesses you with a lot of money. An armored truck could fall in front of you. It's real simple. Just ask for your needs to be met. That's how you can do that. And then be patient. Work towards your goals. And show the universe that you're willing to do what it is that you can do from your end. And hopefully you get your lots of money. But you have to know what lots of money actually means. If you're talking about millions and millions of dollars, you have to think about the fact that you really don't have any reference to that. So it's kind of an unreality. It'd be better for you to pray for something that you understand. Or ask for something that you understand. Within the realm of your understanding. Like if you only have the idea of what $100 looks like, then ask for that. Start with there. And then if you get more than that, ask for more. That's one way to do that. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the next question. Thanks a lot, Shelly. By the way, Shelly Nunchucks has a show also on Blog Talk. And her and another associate of mine is called Shelly Nunchuck Show, but it's Ordinary Women, and you might check that out. She's very interested in things such as acting and stunt work and film work, and I call her my little sister, so you might check out her show as well. Which brings up another point. We here are filming a movie. That movie is called Falkir, and what Falkir is about is 4 women that are taken from different time zones and different time periods, and different life experiences, and they're all brought together by fate at the request of Odin, and given the opportunity to become the legendary Valkyrie, and they wind up saving the world. And so far this film is happening. We're doing it on a shoestring budget, literally a shoestring budget, and some duct tape. and we're hoping that it's going to turn out very, very well. It's my first attempt at directing an epic film, and I believe that it's going to be a marvelous film. I was working on some of the weaponry today, and you can check that out at the Falcare website, and that's you can go to www.falcarethemovie.com, and you can check that out. And also, if you're willing to invest in a movie, if you're one of those people that does have lots of money, as Shelley is talking about, I would be very happy to take some of that money and put it towards Falcare the movie. Okay? I'll give you free tickets and everything, even a T-shirt. So you might check that out and see what we're doing. There are lots of pictures of the film shots that we have taken. There are lots of, action shots, and we're working on fight choreography right now, and we're working on weaponry. And I think that you will all enjoy it. It does have my whole spiritual nature in the film as well. So just check that out. It's at www.falcaremovie.com. If you check that out, I'm sure you'll be entertained. And you can give us a like, and you can also add yourself to our friends list. We'd be more than happy to put you on there and know that you're a friend of Falcare. Okay. Now, from what I'm understanding, there are not a lot of questions that are in the chat room at this particular time. However, someone does have a question now. Wow, how about that?
I just wanted to clarify Falcare, and that is spelled Falcyyr, movie.com. That's www.falcaremovie.com.
Thank you very, very much. All right. How about I play another song? In fact, I was wanting to play another song because I think it's really fun to play some of the things that I'm looking at right now. I'm going to play one of the songs that was written with Falcare in mind. Whether or not we wind up using that particular song in the movie, it's still a very beautiful song. It's called Athanatis. I hope you all enjoy it. This is by Pisces Project, and I will be back momentarily. You're on the air live with Ahura Z. This is Ask the Unicorn. All right, that was Athanatis, and that is by Pisces Project. If you like any of the music that I am playing, you can find this music at Unicorn One Records, And to find that music, you just go to www.unicornonerecords.com, and you'll find that music, and you can download it as well. If there are any of the songs that you would like to hear on the show that are on the Unicorn One Records website, I'll be more than happy to play them for you. Okay? There are a lot of very beautiful songs that we have written and that we have performed, and I'm sure that you will love them as well. All right, let's go back to and see if we have any questions. What do we have now?
I have run into references of something called the violet flame. What is the violet flame?
The violet flame, I believe that you're talking about Saint Germain. And that violet flame is a shield of protection. It's more ultraviolet, a shield of enlightenment. It's like a flame of purification and enlightenment. Now, different people have their different ideas about what that violet flame is. Just understand this. It's something that has been around for quite some time. And one of the teachers that I understand that, or one of the Christed beings that actually introduced that or it represents is Saint Germain, or Manilio as I know him. And it is a very powerful thing to have. That particular thing will guard and protect you against all darkness, negativity, and evil. You want that violet flame, and you want that violet flame to ever be present in your life. Okay? You might do some more research on that. It looks like you're on a trail of something.
That was in regards to research of looking up the goddesses.
Well, okay. It's still the same thing. You know, it doesn't matter. I know what that is. I've lived with that most of my life. You know, you're talking about something that God or goddess, it really doesn't matter. They don't have our issues, so they're not arguing all the time. So whether you're looking up God or you're looking up the goddess, you're still going to find that violet flame. You know, so all of the things that I've said matter. All right, now it looks like I have another caller, so I'm going to go to the phone lines right now. I'm going to bring Kelly into the studio. How you doing, Kelly?
Hey, Z. How are you?
Hey, I'm just dandy. What can I do for you this evening?
So something I've always wondered about is crop circles. I was wondering, like, how they're formed and, like, maybe, like, you know, like what some of them might mean, or if they're, like, actually a message, or... And then I guess my other question would be, you said before that you have been on a ship before, or you had an experience about that, and that you'd explain that another time. I'd like to hear about that.
Well, that's something I'll explain to you at length when we're talking personally. However,
okay.
Crop circles can be made. The story is that they were made by aliens, or excuse me, they're made by extraterrestrials, and that could be as a message, or maybe even just a flight plan. Or perhaps they understand that we're just really curious about a lot of things and they're just kind of playing with us. Other people have actually done crop circles and done them with a little tool that causes things to fall down or to lay down. So I'd actually have to see the crop circle to determine or to even think about what it is that they're actually meaning. They can mean a lot of things. Sometimes they'll give us cures in the form of those messages, but we have to understand the language that they're speaking. I myself kind of think that doing crop circles when they can very easily just appear to some of us is kind of, you know, overdoing it. You know, come up from behind the clouds and just talk to us, you know. Not all of us are going to greet them with hostility, and not all of us are going to run in hysterics, you know. I think it's high time that those kind of games stopped, you know, so perhaps crop circles only are like flight plans for someone else. Maybe our plan is just to stop to somewhere else and someone just kind of wrote it there. Other times it could be someone playing a joke. You really have to look at things like that. You know, you have to take that into
if someone like steps in a crop circle and they claim to have like weird feelings or phenomena, what do you think that is?
I think that some people have that, they really do have those feelings. You know, I think that when a person says that they're experiencing something, it at least warrants an investigation to find out what they're really feeling. To talk to that person without subjecting them to a preconceived judgment. We all experience a great amount of things. to have someone else's experience subjected to judgment is just kind of unfair, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't it be a lot
Definitely.
better to understand that person and talk to that person and find out what it is that they really experience? In order to do that, we have to kind of get out of ourselves. We have a problem. Even when we're listening to people, we are always preoccupied with ourselves. Waiting for that person to inhale so that we can talk, or, we only ask questions in regard to ourselves, So if you're going to listen to a person's experience about crop circles or about experiencing feelings in that crop circle, you have to be interested in what it is that they're actually saying. Ask questions about them. Ask questions about the experience. Ask questions about the sensations. Ask questions about what they were doing, things like that, and don't interject yourself into it. And then you'll get the real story from that person, one way or another. It does help. Crop circles are a very real thing. Lots of people have seen them. Some people have actually seen them happening as they've happened. Other people come by a little later. And that's pretty cool. I mean, I've seen some pretty elaborate designs, and I've looked and studied to see if they could be done by a person, and I understand that there are people that are capable of doing things just because they want to say that it doesn't exist. I won't call those people skeptics. Sorry, I did. But, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to name names. But, there are a lot of people out there that just seek to disprove something for the sake of disproving. There are people that believe in extraterrestrial life forms, and there are people who don't believe in extraterrestrial life forms. There are people who have seen extraterrestrial life forms, and there are people who are in stark, raving mindsets of denial, even when they do see something, and they go, well, that's just swamp gas. You've got all kinds of people that are out there that are either trying to prove or disprove, and something is that it doesn't take proof or disproof. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
There are so many things that exist in our life and in our universe that, you're wasting your time trying to prove or disprove pretty much anything. Those people that are out there that are saying stupid things like, I don't believe in psychism, and if a person's psychic and they can prove it to me, then I'll give them $1 million. There are other people out there that say, that's not what a spaceship looks like. And no one ever thinks to ask them, well, okay, you're telling me that's not what a spaceship looks like. What does one look like? More than likely that person hasn't got a clue. So when it comes to things like crop circles, only the people that wrote the crop circles or the people that were the supposed recipient of the crop circles knows what that means. The rest of us are just kind of guessing at it. Yeah, as a telepath, I have a little bit of advantage, and I can, look at some things and say, well, this obviously is alluding to something, and it may be alluding to whatever it's alluding to, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to get the entire message as to what this person was meaning, because they could have just meant, hey, I'm coming over later. Are we going to watch a movie?
It could just be doodles.
Yeah, it could indeed. Or it could be a bunch of jokers out there with those little wheat crusher things just making elaborate designs for some college project just to see how gullible everyone is. You have to take all of these things into consideration, and I usually do. But if there's an energy signature out there that is unusual, I'm going to say that there's an energy signature out here that is not terrestrial. So those are things that we'd actually have to go to see. I've seen some magnificent things, some just awesome things. And they may not have been crop circles, but they've been other anomalies.
Yeah, so you've never, been inside a crop circle then,
Not inside a crop circle, no. No, I've never been inside one. I've seen them. I mean, I'm like the majority of people. I've seen crop circles in magazines and in pictures, and it'd be great if I could actually go to one. I would love to go to one. I'd be the person that is willing to, to get on an interstellar spaceship and fly to Jupiter and then get outside to find out if Jupiter can support life. I've always said that. Listen, I'll fly to Jupiter. You make me a spaceship that will go to Jupiter to prove whether or not it can sustain life, because I don't believe science. I don't think science knows what the heck they're talking about because they haven't been there. But if they go there, you go down that ramp on the spaceship. It can be televised. You can sit there with your space helmet on and then take your space helmet off. If your head shrinks to the size of a pea and pops, then we know it cannot sustain life. However, everything else is just theory and conjecture, and that's exactly the way that I think about it. You know, that's exactly the way that I think about it. But, you know, there aren't many people that are willing to do such a thing, are there? You know, so when it comes to things like crop circles, that's experiential. You know, I'd love to. If someone finds a crop circle, let me know. I will go and do a full investigation on it. You let me know.
I can try and make you one.
Well, then I'd find out exactly where it came from.
Cool art project. Maybe you should make one for your movie.
Nah, that's okay.
All right.
All right. It's good talking to you. Thanks for calling.
You too.
Okay, night-night.
Bye.
Bye. And that was Kelly. Okay. What do we have next?
I have heard that certain alien species relate to animals, like Arcturians relate to horses, Sirians relate to whales, Pleiadians relate to dolphins, etc. Are animals part of the energy of higher dimensional beings?
Okay, obviously animals are a lot more open than we humans, but I think that all of those races of beings that you just mentioned are open to just about every animal. They are not limited the way that we are. It is our perception of how animals are and what they think and what races are actually akin to these animals that colors our perceptions of it. It just colors the way that we think. We are the ones that decided on limitations, and it's usually us that find ways to judge different species. So I'm going to say that animals, just like we humans, just like any other species within this universe, have the potentiality to be higher beings. There's not one that is better than the other. You know, so you might say that in the eyes of the ones that created this great and wide and wonderful universe, we are all equal. Now, that's a huge statement, realizing that there are people that don't understand animals as well. And there are people that don't understand terrestrial and extraterrestrial life forms. That's neither here nor there when it comes down to the reality of it. We are the ones that call these different races because we don't understand what the true things are. And the moment that we do understand what these true things are, we will begin to understand that we within this universe are one. We are all one. That is a reality, and that is the truth. And we need to start learning to operate in that particular mantra. And the moment that we do that, then we will begin to see what it is to be enlightened beings. Okay. I hope that helps you. It's a good question now. All right, what have we got now?
What is a good way to broaden your awareness so as to know what is going on around you as much as possible?
Okay, that's a good question. There are so many disciplines that have been introduced, and I would say that these disciplines have been around for a long time, but they've caught a lot of interest. There are disciplines such as Tai Chi, yoga, astrology, numerology, telemetry, psychometry, soul travel. There are vibrational frequency. There are so many different avenues. Even if you're learning body awareness, or you're doing manual arts, or you're learning how to work out, or you're learning how to be disciplined in your day-to-day life, these are ways for you to become more aware. Even sitting in a park and just watching people from time to time. The universe has created all of these ways for us to evolve, and all of these ways for us to become more aware of ourselves, be more aware of our environment and our environs, to be more aware of the things that are going on even esoterically. Let your thoughts wander, from time to time. Make sure that you stay grounded, but, let your thoughts move outward to the possibility and the probability and the plausibility of things. Find ways to entertain more spiritual thought. That doesn't mean for you to look at lofty platitudes. What that means for you to do is to think about the realities in your life and the realities of other people's lives. Right now, we are entering into a very wonderful time in our year. And this happens every year, and this is what we like to call Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you want to call it. We'll call it the holidays for just to include everybody, okay? How about we do it that way? But this is a good time for all of us to reflect on things, to think about the awesomeness of our lives, to think about the probabilities of things, to think about the possibilities and the new possibilities that arise daily. It is an awesome time for us to meditate on these things. If there's some reading material that you would like to get, then get it. That's how you make yourself more aware. If you want to learn something new, learn it. Make yourself more aware. Perhaps there's a class that you want to take. Take that class. Be daring enough to do it. Maybe there's some avenue that you would like to move into that will bring positivity in your life. Be willing to do that. There's no training to it. You don't have to train yourself to do things like that. You just simply allow those things. Okay? Find ways to think of a new entertainment. I know a lot of you out there really want to have something to be passionate about, but you just can't find it. You can't find it because you're not looking. You're not doing things. You have to go out and do things. You know, maybe you're not fanatic about what your friend is fanatic about, and you're a little jealous because they found something to be fanatic about. But if you took your tail out there and decided to do a few things, you might be fanatic about something too. And it may be just ketchup. Maybe you're fanatic about ketchup. That's fine. That'll give you the opportunity to learn what goes into ketchup. And that's almost anything. That's just about anything. We are offered a very dramatic opportunity here. And that opportunity is to be anything we want, to do anything that we want, to go anywhere that we want to go. You owe it to yourself to try those things. There are so many things out there now. If you want to be a Trekkie, listen, there are probably millions of people that are Trekkies just as well. If you want to do cosplay, there are millions of cosplayers. If you want to go to Comic-Cons, there's a lot of people at Comic-Con. If you want to be a rocket scientist, you can be a rocket scientist. Okay? There are so many opportunities. You will become more aware than you can possibly imagine, just by being open to the possibility of being aware. You know, we have to look at it this way. I understand. In our particular world, everybody talks about training, and you know, for you parents that really want your kids to go to college, that's fine. One of the biggest wastes of time that there is college, conventional college. That's like going to high school again, only paying 10 times as much. Okay? And then you get a little piece of paper that doesn't guarantee you a job, but people tell you you're supposed to do it. Fine. But if you could at least take the time to figure out what you really want to do in your life, and for those of you that feel like you missed out on college, or you missed out on education, or you missed out on this, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Anytime. You can start your education at any time. Just decide to do it. You can decide to be a spiritual being. You can save pennies to maybe go to Tibet if that's what you want to do, but I guarantee you that Tibet is no more holy than here. Okay? You can do all of these wonderful things to make yourself more aware. Talk to a person that has had experience. You become more aware. Experience some things. There are so many things that are right outside, right there for you to do. You can go online. Train yourself to go online, to look at things, to find out things. Just turn on your computer. If you don't have a computer, go to a place that there are computers. Use a computer there. I've heard people say some of the most simplistic things, like, you know, I really want to get a cat. Or I really want to get a dog, but, you know, my friend won't let me get a dog because they don't like dogs. Who cares? Get your dog. Your friend doesn't have to play with it. Your friend is probably afraid that he'll start to like the dog. You know, make yourself more aware of what's going on. You know, and I'll even talk to you a little bit about that awareness, okay? Because there's a lot of negativity out there to be aware of. Make yourself the type of person that goes out and finds positive things to be aware of. Look for the positive things. If you get one of the newspapers, that's not a very good thing for you to do these days, because all you're going to get is negativity. I mean, someone's mad at somebody else because, you know, they stood up in Senate and said something about them, you know, or everybody's mad at, not everybody, but there are a lot of people that are mad at Barack Obama because the Republicans are mad at Barack Obama, or maybe the Democrats are unpleased, or this or that and the other. You know, you hear all of the crime, the tragedy, the shame, the just horror that is in our media information. And I think that media should be held accountable for those things when they go off and just report nothing but negativity and hatred and violence and discord. When they do that, they need to be held accountable for it, because it does influence a person's life. And it causes them not to want to be aware about things. So go out and find some positive things. And the people that you go out with, demand that they are positive or they don't go. You'll be better off that way. That's how you make yourself, you know, more. That's how you make yourself more aware about things. You know, you go out and you find out, what is someone doing that's positive today? You know, well, did you hear about the awful snowstorm that's about to? I don't care. I'm in Maine. Snowstorm is second nature here. Who cares? It's going to happen every winter. It does every winter. You might as well expect it. Now, can we move on? Let's find something really positive to do in the snow. You know, find something. What about occupy your time with maybe going out and making sure that there are people, that people have some place to be, that people have some place warm and dry and safe to be, and that they have food to eat, good food to eat. How about that? That would be a very positive thing. If you want to be made aware of something, I'll make you aware right now. There are people that don't have these things, and they should have these things. But our society makes it so that they can't get these things without little slips of paper, which makes absolutely no sense. That causes a person to determine their self-worth based upon a slip of paper or a few little chunks of metal. People out. It'll make you feel really, really good. Do something that is going to make you stand and be accounted as a spiritual being. And that means real. That's how you do that. That's how you train yourself, if you want to know. And don't sit around and complain about how much money you don't have. Because you don't have it. There's nothing to complain about. Do what you can do to the best of your ability without it, if that's the way that it has to be. And then pretty soon the universe will notice that, and you'll be invested in. Even if it's not a lot, you'll still be invested in. And then you'll get your turn. Don't complain. It doesn't do anything. It does absolutely no good. All right. I went almost on a rant again, didn't I? Oh, sorry about that, but I just had to say that. Make yourself aware of what's going on. You'll find a lot of like-minded people around, but you have to go out and do something. Okay, what have we got next?
Can humans use echolocation? Someone told me dolphins see holographically in 360 degrees all around them. Can we train ourselves to do that?
We don't have dolphin brains. The dolphins do that as a matter of adaptation, is because of their environment, where they live. When we have the need to do that, I'm sure that we can develop ourselves. We are a lot more developed than people were maybe 100 years ago. There are some things that we have developed that people didn't need back then. Well, you're talking about the difference between a dolphin and a human. And contrary to a lot of the New Agers out there that believe that we are dolphins, we are not. We are human beings. We may have a nature that is very akin to a dolphin, but the third dimensional reality is that we are human, so we don't have the same attributes. True, you can develop yourself to a state of awareness that you can call 360 degree, yet it is not the same thing. Excuse me. It is not the same thing. There is 360 degree awareness. There is 360 degree echolocation. You don't have a reason to have echolocation. You're not underwater. When you can survive underwater, then you'll have that particular need. However, you can develop the awareness. You really can. As a telepath, I can do that to a degree. Yet it's not the same as a dolphin. I think a dolphin could outclass me in that particular area altogether. So let's be clear on some things. One is a dolphin, one is a human. Okay? Hopefully that helps you. Okay. What have we got next? Okay. It looks like we don't, so I get to rant some more. I talk about these things the way that I do because sometimes what happens is because of our own community, that would be the New Age mystical, magical, and the paranormal community, we tend to get lost in some of the words. We get lost in some of the terms. And we always have the responsibility of remaining very grounded when we're talking about something. Okay, if you don't understand a term, then it's best for you to refrain from using it. You know, there are a lot of people that talk about things such as remote viewing, that yet very few people understand what that is about. There are a lot of people that talk about, they say, well, there's a mystical experience, and you put those two words together, and because they sound really cool, mystical experience, yet you don't understand exactly what that means. So how about we do it this way? If you have experiences that are mystical, or you have experiences that are very powerful to you, and they have changed you in some way, shape, or form, or they've impacted you in some way, shape, or form, or even impressed upon you the attitude of change or the attitude of growth, then we can call that a mystical experience. Don't just say it to sound trendy, to sound cool. I know that we're very trendy people. There are a lot of people that jump on these trendy bandwagons and say things like, I remember there was the whole Indigo Children thingy, you know, that happened. And my vibration has always been indigo, but that didn't make me an indigo child, you know what I mean? And then that became something else. There were people that said, well, these are crystal children. And that's got to be one of the most vague things that has ever come out. You know, what kind of crystal? And what do you mean exactly by that? I understand every parent wants their child to be better and special than the next child, but you have to understand what's being said. Okay, so I just did this one time. I started a whole room about diamond orb children. And you know, there were people that actually jumped on that bandwagon. I couldn't believe it. It was ridiculous. Okay, so let's not do that. Why don't we remain very grounded on things? Okay, listen, there are people out there that have that, and I've spoken to them, and I know that they exist. There are people that have very dolphin-like natures, and you could each be one of those, and you can have an affinity with dolphins, because dolphins are very intelligent creatures, and they can have an affinity with almost anyone. Just get this, you're not a dolphin. You have the nature of a dolphin. You may even have the spirit of a dolphin, but you're talking, or a spirit kindred to a dolphin, but you are talking about two different kingdoms. No, you were not a dolphin in your last life. You were a human in your last life. Those are different kingdoms. Okay? You have lessons to learn as a human. You're not going to be demoted to an animal, nor are you going to progress to an animal. You can have an affinity with that animal. There are people that are shapeshifters, and they have the ability to do that, and that's a different type of a being altogether. You know, so you have to be clear on some things. It's wonderful being a human. As a human, I have the opportunity to grow and evolve so that I can totally communicate with these different beings. And I'm hoping that all of us do that, because we can barely communicate with each other, let alone be able to totally communicate with a dolphin or even a horse. And believe me, I can talk very well with horses and other animals. That doesn't make me that animal. It makes me have that nature, or have that energy, or the personality, or perhaps that animal is a totem of mine, just like it's a totem of yours. If you're asking about a dolphin, there's a pretty good chance that that particular animal is one of your totems. Fish, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. It's still an animal to me. And you may have a kindred nature to that animal. And it would be better for you to understand the animal rather than to understand the animal from your standpoint, or try to understand the animal from your standpoint. Okay, and for those of you that wonder, yes, you are stuck being a human. That's not so bad. You just have to learn to love your life. And if you can do that, perhaps you'll get to evolve to something else. Okay. I'm going to play another song because I love doing that. And this particular song is a favorite of some of the people that I know. This is called Battle Song. This is by Pisces Project. I will be back momentarily. You're on the air live with Ahura Z. This is Ask the Unicorn.
And
gentlemen, that was Pisces Project Battle Song. Remember, if you like any of our songs that you hear on this show, you can go to our Unicorn One Records label. That is www.unicornonerecords.com, and you can download any of the songs that you hear on this show. All right. Now, I've opened the floor to a lot of questions, but for those of you that want to actually call in, you can call in. Just go to 718-664-9638 to ask any of your questions. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions on the air live. And I do enjoy talking to people. I really enjoy it when people call in, so I get to actually talk to someone. I'm a lot of a ham, not just a bit of a ham, but I do enjoy actually speaking to people. Okay. For those of you that have questions, remember, there are only two types of questions that I do not answer. That is my husband cheating on me, or my wife cheating on me, and is someone going to die? And, I think I have to stress this, that it's better not to ask those kinds of things, especially in public forums. It is better for you to ask those things in a private forum, and I can actually talk to you about it and find out what is actually going on. Now, do we have any more questions?
I believe we have a caller that's coming soon.
Okay, I'm looking at my call thing, and I really don't see anyone. However, when they do call in, that's fine. I'll give you the number again. That is 718-664-9638. Okay, now I was talking to you all about cooperation earlier in the New Age community and the paranormal and in the spiritual community. These things are becoming more and more important. Our society has gotten to where we're accepting of things of a separatist nature, and it's time for us to bring things back together again. All of you people out there that are very goddess conscious, and I myself am very goddess conscious, it is very, very important for you to stand up for the goddess and to stand up and count yourself. Don't apologize anymore. Don't bend, down. Don't bend your head down and say, oh, yeah, I'm part of the goddess. Stand up, okay, because she stands up for you. All of you people that are understanding that God is not the judgmental, white-bearded person that sits up waiting to throw you into hell, stand up and be recognized. Understand that both the God and the goddess have an equal nature and they don't have our issues, and educate people about that. Okay, it looks like that call that you were talking about is actually in the studio right now, so I'm going to bring this person through. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing pretty well, and you?
Good. What's your name?
The Universe.
Okay, Universe. You're on the air live with the Hura Z. What can I do for you this evening?
Hi, I've noticed that I've been having a problem that I need some help with. I'd like some energy or cord cutting techniques, energy separation or cord cutting techniques.
Okay.
I've noticed that when I do intense spiritual practices and I'm dating somebody who obviously isn't doing spiritual practices, that I build a whole lot of energy in whatever process I'm doing. And then we end up on two totally different wavelengths, and they separate. And then I get all upset and everything, and it brings me down. So I need cord cutting.
Your question I actually addressed a little earlier. I think you wrote it in.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. What I was saying to you is that, listen, it's not your spiritual technique. Your spiritual technique is meant for you to do. Do you understand? It's the person that you are trying to be compatible with. That person is not compatible with you. It's the person. It's not your practices. You're supposed to be the embodiment of the universal practice that has been given to you. You are supposed to develop yourself to the highest ability that you can. And if a person can't deal with that, then they obviously are not compatible with you. I think what is happening is you keep trying to find people that are not compatible with you because you can see that they don't have the same spiritual content as you. Okay? But you keep trying anyway. That's not going to work. You're not going to change that person, nor can you change their vibration or their chemical makeup. Do you understand? Yes. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to step back and you're going to have to say, listen, I need to really reassess my taste. Okay? And you need to seek out those people and you need to question before you get involved with them. Okay, because listen, when it comes to spiritual practices, that's not going to be backdoored. That's completely front door. That means that you have to stand, you have to cause that person to stand too. Okay, and the only way you're going to do that is by finding someone that can handle your energy from the get-go. You have to remember us guys, okay, we will say anything. Okay, we will put on a wonderful act. We will say almost anything to get what we want. And then once we've gotten what we want and you start really laying it out there, most of us head for the door, or we find something wrong. Okay? Or maybe we just weren't that person in the first place. And you have to be willing to deal with that. I think that's your problem. It's just you keep going, trying to go from the head down, and you got to work from the bottom up. Remember, you always have to deal with Earth no matter what you're doing. So change your taste. You can have exactly what you want on the physical level, and at the same time have what you want on the spiritual level. But you got to start with the spirit first. Do you understand?
Yes. I've now adopted a new policy.
Okay.
No guys who don't do spiritual practices. But, in the meantime, I'd still like some cord cutting or energy separation techniques to just clear out the old completely. You know what I mean?
That is really easy. All you have to do is get rid of everything that they gave you.
Okay.
You want the cords cut, right?
Yep.
Then you got to get rid of those things that they gave you or things that are associated with them. Remember, you even have to start on the physical level when it comes to that. Once you do that, then that energy will leave you, and that they won't come around again. You won't sit there in your emotional turmoil. Okay, when's your birthday, by the way? Just a month and day.
June 5th.
June 5th, 10th or 5th?
5th.
5th, June 5th. Now, you're transitory from the get-go.
Yeah.
Okay, what that basically means is that you probably have a hard time holding on to just about anything. It's because of your energy. It's constantly expanding and changing. So when you constantly expand and change, people can't figure you out. Do you understand?
Yep.
It's like you're capable of thinking about 5 things all at once. And maybe the person that you're dealing with is just barely able to think about one thing on a consistent basis. It's not that the guys that you pick are altogether dumb. They're just ill-equipped to deal with some of the energy that you have or that you wield. Remember, a transitory person needs to find another transitory person, or at least a person who is stable. Okay? Because you're always going to be flitting about. It's just what you do. Your particular, your particular planetary influence causes you to, you ever see the scenario where someone, there's this one little thing that I saw, little movie that I saw where a person is talking about something and then a squirrel crosses their path and they go squirrel and they get distracted by that.
Yeah,
that would be you. Yeah.
Okay,
So you have to understand you can do a lot, but this other person just isn't capable of doing so. You got to find someone who can meet you on the street corner you're asking them to. And you know something? That may lead you in a very different type of a person. So realize you're a strong person. I get that. But you got to find someone who's equally as strong. Men and women are supposed to be equal, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So change your taste. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So get rid of those things that these people giving you. I understand there are a lot of people that are very keepsakey. I get that. But this represents a good experience that I had with this person. Listen, that person isn't there anymore. Let it go. Get rid of it. If you get rid of it, you'll get rid of the pain. And then you'll have, you can't very well expect Prince Charming when you got someone else standing in the door. You got to let those things go. When you can do that, you'll sever the cord. And don't be angry. It's not worth it. You're a spiritual being, right?
Yep.
Well, the first level of spirituality is reality. And the reality is you can make it for a while by yourself and attract that person that you want. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I hope that helps you. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah. Thank you. I
You have a
appreciate
good
that.
night. No problem.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, thank you for calling in. For those of you that want to call in and you'd like to actually receive an answer, why don't you give me a call at 718-664-9638. Again, I'd be more than happy to answer your questions, and I will do so very directly and give you the full answer, not just part of an answer. All right, what have we got now? Okay, looks like there are no more questions, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to thank you all for joining me on the show tonight. It's very important that I have listeners, and I really enjoy doing this. For those of you that would like to make a donation towards this show, you can do so at the Ask the Unicorn site, and that is www.asktheunicorn.com. For those of you that are interested in taking classes with me, I do teach classes. You can contact the school, and that is Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics. That is www.unicorn-cove.com. For those of you that are interested in paranormal training, paranormal team training or investigation, or you have something in your home or in you that needs to be removed, or there's what you feel to be a curse in your life, you can contact me at Unicorn Rangers. That is www.unicornrangers.org, and I can help you out with that to help you determine whether or not there really is a curse, or perhaps you're just under a great amount of duress and that's causing you some pain. Okay? I'll be happy to answer any of the questions that you actually have, and I'm fully capable of training you in these arts. Now, I'd like to thank you again for joining me tonight on Ask the Unicorn. I will see you all next week, and remember, write your questions down because sometimes you may forget them, okay? And write them down as many as you can. If they're dreams, things that you have, see if you can write down your dreams to the best of your ability, and I'll be more than happy to answer questions about those as well. So, I'd like to wish you all a very wonderful evening. This has been a great time for me and for Kazi, and we will see you next week on Ask the Unicorn, or we will hear you next week on Ask the Unicorn. I'm Uhura Z. You're on the air live with me. Good night.
You've been listening to Ask the Unicorn with Uhura Z. Deliza. If you have a personal matter you need help with, Uhura offers telepathic readings and spiritual counseling by phone and Skype. He also teaches private classes in an array of subjects online using Skype video. Visit Unicorn Cove School of Metaphysics for more information at www.unicorn-cove.com. If you have a question for Uhura to answer on a future episode of Ask the Unicorn, you can email it to questions@asktheunicorn.com, and we'll add it to the list for our next show. Ask the Unicorn broadcasts live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time on Blog Talk Radio. Visit our website for more information and to hear archived episodes of our show at www.asktheunicorn.com.
When you don't know, just go and ask for do-de-o-do. Uhura Z will journey with you of all the places on the photo. What do we do when you don't know? Just go and ask for do-de-o-do. Uhura Z will journey with you of all the places others won't go.